Hello everyone, my name is Kudzie Mapiye, and on this channel I do videos about my life living here in Australia, and I also share different life lessons that I've learned along the way. I also offer one-on-one coaching sessions for all current and prospective migrants, and you can check out my website in the description below and check out more about my services and how to book a session. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about updates for Australia, like Brisbane in particular, but really it affects Australia wide. I've got a few updates. I'm just parked at the train station. So you'll see the cars and the people going to the train. But yeah, I just wanted to do a video like updating people on some things that are happening in Brisbane. If there's one thing I love, is just being on top of like information, being well prepared, being aware of what's happening is very important, especially if you're planning to come and live in Brisbane, move to Brisbane, visit Brisbane, all of the above. Or if you're currently in Brisbane, like there's a lot of things that have been happening, and I've got good news and bad news. And I think I'll start with the bad news so that I'll end on a positive note. And excuse me, I just thought of this because I'm on my way to work, and I was just thinking as I was driving to the train station, like how things have changed. Like, you know, with the cost of living crisis, I just used to hear on the news like cost of living crisis, this, like prices are going up. And sometimes you don't really feel the impacts until like later on. And I've really started to see the impacts in Brisbane, in Australia, especially in the workplace. And like even small things like at my workplace, even things like milk. The amount of milk we used to be like given for like coffee and stuff has reduced. Like we used to have like the fridge will be full of milk, like all types of milk, low fat, full cream, lactose, like different types of milk. But now like the milk options have reduced and the quantity that we're being given has reduced. Even when it comes to stationery, the stationery that we used to be able to access has been reduced. So we can't just take as much as we want. Like there are more limits, and you can see like even big corporates are making cuts. And when it comes to jobs, I'm finding that permanent jobs are hard to come by. Mainly, like you can find a lot of more like temporary roles, like maybe for a duration of 2 years or less. But when it comes to full-time jobs, I think companies are just more reluctant to hire people on a full-time basis because of the budgets. They don't know what the future looks like, so they're more comfortable to offer people like shorter stints, and that means that there's less job security. So that's just something to be aware of. If you're looking to move to Australia, or if you're looking to move to Brisbane, it's not as easy as it used to be to find a full-time role. Like job security is no longer as secure. Like people are being cut. Like at the end of your like 6 month or 2 year stint, most of the roles are not being renewed, so you have to find a new job. So there are a lot more job seekers out there, a lot more qualified people going for fewer roles. So those are just some of the realities because of the impacts of the cost of living. Because if you look at the workplaces, their costs have gone up. Things like renting the spaces for their offices, like procuring equipment, paying for electricity, like a lot of things have gone up, and it's impacting companies, and then it impacts people even at the household level. Like my husband went shopping yesterday for like we just needed a few things. Told me that the eggs that I bought 2 weeks ago for like $6 for like 12 eggs was now going for $8 for the same thing. This was like 2 weeks ago. And it just made me realize that, you know, things are going up. And because there's an egg shortage, so sometimes when you go shopping later on in the day, you'll find that there's like fewer eggs. There's just maybe a few crates left of eggs, and then they will bump the price up like even during the day. So you might go with a budget of $6 for the eggs that you need. You get to the shop and they're $8. And sometimes when they get more eggs, they'll reduce the price. But still, it's that kind of instability. Like, we never used to have that, but it's becoming more and more common. So I think people just need to be more conscious about even the amount of money they're spending at a household level because of the lack of job security. Like, if you're in a temporary role, just being realistic about what it actually means, because before people never used to worry if they're in a like temporary role, because they'll know the possibility of being extended is high. But now, even in more secure companies, like, the possibility of being extended in a temporary role is lower. So that is really a big impact for families. So please, something to consider, something to put into consideration if you're planning to move. Because the thing is, sometimes people have this perception that, the grass is greener on the other side, or, you're going to move to Australia and things are going to be easy. That is not necessarily the case. There are going to be some types of challenges that you need to prepare for, and so that you don't get this huge shock when you finally move and you're like, oh my goodness, this is not what I expected. Like, just expect those things to happen, and, it is the current reality. And on a more positive note, this news just made my heart sing, and it's to do with the trains. Like, I catch public transport to work. I'm at the train station right now. I'm about to go and catch the train, and they recently announced that the 50-cent fares, I used to pay over $6 one way to get into the city. Now I only pay 50 cents one way because they reduced the cost of public transport in Brisbane. And it was for a 6-month period. So they started in August and it was for a 6-month trial period. And they've now said they've extended it for like indefinitely. Guys, that is life-changing for me. I feel like, I'm actually feeling the savings that I'm making when I go into the office, because I used to be like spending just on public transport alone, like close to $15 on public transport alone. And now I just spend $1 a day, like 50 cents one way, 50 cents back, $1 a day. For me, I think that's a good saving, and that money could go towards the cost of expensive eggs. So it's a really good thing that even though there are like cost of living pressures, I feel like there are some areas where they're offering cost of living relief, which is good in that it doesn't completely balance things out, but it at least offers some kind of relief for people, especially those people who catch public transport. I don't catch public transport every day. I don't work in the office every day. But for those people who will be like catching public transport every day, like that amount like really, really adds up weekly. So having to make a savings, like just spending $5 a week instead of like, over, I don't know, $50, that's a huge saving. So, that's just thought I'll give you a bit of update on what is happening in Brisbane, things to look forward to, things to expect, things to prepare for, because, they say failure to prepare is preparation for failure. So the more information you know, the better prepared you'll be. So I hope, wishing you all a wonderful week. It's Monday today. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. Hope you all start the week well. You enjoy your week, you're energetic, and you go in the week with lots of motivation. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you in my next video.